Alright, so I know I said, I think last year that I would do a story time about how my ADHD medication gave me anxiety. However, that is not a very interesting story, plus I feel like I was kind of right to be anxious about the things I was being anxious about, because 6 months have passed, and I think I was, low-key kind of right. Okay, so, we are not going to be talking about that. We are going to be talking about, one of my weird medical stories, because I told this story to my boyfriend, and he said that it was probably medical malpractice. So, here we go. And also, this is unscripted, because, I don't know, I really didn't want to write a script, okay? I'd start scripting myself going on to tangents. Not a good thing. So basically, flashback to 8th grade. This is 2 years ago? Yeah. No. Yes, it is 2 years ago. I'm about to go into 10th. Right. So, flashback to 8th grade. I'm in 8th grade, and I'm starting to get, this really, really bad pain in, my, my abdomen, right? Space, right above my hip, right? And I think that it's, a UTI. Also, this is a Friday, right? I think this is a UTI because I've had UTIs before and it felt, sort of similar, right? So I told my mom about it, and she's like, oh, we'll go to the doctor in the morning. It's a Friday night, right? It's a Friday night. My mom's like, oh, we'll go to the doctor in the morning. And I was like, why don't we wait until Monday so that I can get off to school? And we agree, and I wait, a couple hours. The pain's worse. So I'm like, hey, Ma, this really hurts. Let's skip. Let's not wait until Monday. Let's go now. It's it's 10 at night at this point, right? So, we go to the urgent care, which I know I have British viewers. Urgent care is whenever you can just, go to the doctor. It's not your doctor, it's a random doctor, who works at the urgent care, and you can get seen immediately. Usually it's supposed to be for emergencies, but people will just use it whenever they don't want to, make an appointment, right? So I go to the urgent care. They make me, pee in a cup. Gross. Disgusting. And they're like, you do not have a UTI. Let me, so, this doctor, feels my stomach or whatever. And they're like, yeah, no, UTI. You seem pretty tender. You might have appendicitis. So why don't you go to the hospital? Because appendicitis is really serious, right? So we go to the hospital. My mom texts my dad, being like, hey, we're going to the hospital. My dad says, K, thumbs up, put your clothes in the washing machine when you come home, because he doesn't like hospitals, the germs, I guess. But still, come on, respond a little bit more. So we go to the hospital, we get checked in, we wait in the waiting room for, hours upon hours upon hours, right? And I was, the pain was getting worse, low-key, pain was pretty bad, and we wait, we finally get, checked into the hospital, and I think, I can't remember what time we got, I got, checked in, but, I remember I got, this entire story ended at, 4 in the morning, right? So, we get, I have to go get my blood drawn, right? This is where the problems start, right? And I sit down next to this, nurse, and he's, it's a male nurse, by the way, and he's like, alright, give me your arm, something, and, I'm afraid of needles. I usually pass out. Actually, we didn't know that I usually pass out until this point, because this was my first time getting blood drawn. So, I sit down next to this nurse, and he's like, okay, give me your arm, blah, blah, blah. My mom wants to sit next to me. They would not let my mom sit next to me, because I'm afraid of needles. But they wouldn't let my mom sit next to me, so they draw my blood, and make me go get a urine sample, which is the wrong fucking order to do it in. Come on. So I go to the bathroom, which is like also in the lobby, right? And also, by the way, they told us it's gonna be a couple more hours after you can get this to us. We were gonna like I guess they were gonna run the labs before like checking me in. Right, well that's what they said what would happen. That's not what happened. Because I get into the bathroom, right? I start leaning against the wall, like half part leaning against the wall, half part leaning against my mother, right? And my mother's been taking this like a champ, right? And I'm leaning heavily, and I keep leaning even more heavily every single second, and suddenly I feel this pain in the back of my head, and I feel like I'm falling asleep or something like that, and I hear my mom's voice like, "You need to get off the floor," and I say, "I'm on the floor," and I hear her say, "Oh, this is awful," right? And there was a security guard who was like washing her hands in there at the time, so she like ran out and got me some help. So they put me in a wheelchair type thing and sit me down in the lobby, and then I fall out of the wheelchair. Like, I vaguely remember falling out of the wheelchair again. And then they're like, "Oh, there must be something actually wrong. We're gonna like wheel this person back immediately," which is one way to skip the line. I actually was not having like seizures or anything. I was just like a baby and like afraid of needles, and like that was my first time getting blood drawn, and like I was one, scared, and two, passing out. Like nowadays they do not, like, anywhere I go get blood drawn, I need to tell them, "Hey, I need to lay down," because I am 1, a baby, 2, will cry, and 3, will pass out. Probably even if I am laying down. So yeah, that's like something that happens. So anyways, they wheel me back in like this wheelchair type thing that I'm still sitting in. That nurse that drew my blood before asked me like questions, like, you know, the type of questions, like, what is your name? How old are you? What day is it? I think, that sort of stuff. And they get me set up in like this hospital bed in the back of the hospital, right? And honestly, like, when they gave me like this pain medicine, right? And like, I don't have very good memory of like being on those pain meds. I do know, and I don't even remember this. I only know because like I thought she was my friend. She was not my friend, but I ended up texting her in the middle of the night, being like, "I'm in the hospital, double thumbs up, look at me, ha 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 ha." Which like and like Monday at school, she was like, "Why did you text me that you were in the hospital?" I have no memory of that happening. Okay, I don't, but I know it must have happened because, like, you know, other people remember it. But yeah, they ended up like taking me back eventually to go get like a CT scan type thing, which I remember. I only remember what that is because Dr. House, like me and my mom, I remember making a couple Dr. House jokes, like, do me a full body scan. I do like Dr. House. But like, I remember like, yeah, I got my CT scan from Dr. House, and this doctor comes in. He's like a young guy, like, probably, I don't know, but he comes in and he's like 30 minutes after taking the CT scan, I did end up getting up and giving them like a urine sample, which, like, cause I never did get to do that because, like, you know, I passed out in the middle of the bathroom because somebody, Mr. Nurse Man, wanted me to go take a do that right after getting my blood drawn. Okay, sorry. I'm a little upset. But basically, he comes in and he's like, "Wow, you have some huge ass ovarian cysts. How are you not, like, in pain constantly?" And I was like, "Oh, I thought it was," cause like, previously, on Briar's life, I had like really like bad period cramps, and I thought that was normal, because like, I'm a teenager, I'm hormonal, like it's whatever, right? Turns out it was not, and it was caused by ovarian cysts. I did not have appendicitis. I did not need surgery. So basically they were like, this is an easy fix. So they put me on some sort of like, they prescribed me some, first of all, they prescribed me some like really strong ass pain meds, which I didn't even get billed. Because who the frick needs Vicodin for that? But, I don't think it was Vicodin. I remember my mom saying something about how it was literally, like, people sold it, but I can't remember what it is. I'm just saying Vicodin because, like, I think that's the only, like, really strong, pain medicine I know. But basically, like, they're like, yeah, you have ovarian cysts, and you should probably go to an OBGYN to get you some birth control prescribed so that, you can, like, live normally, which, like, in hindsight, that idea made it worse for a little bit. So I'm not on birth control anymore. I will never be on birth control again, ever, ever, ever. Like, it did make the cramps go down, but, like, I cannot be on my period for 2 weeks. I cannot have 2-week-long periods that go from, like, that are every month. I also am bad at remembering to take my pills. So, yeah. That's basically what happened. Also, when we got out of the hospital, it was like 4. It was 4. I think it was 4 anyways. It was 4 in the morning, and we went to the only place that was open, which, for all the Southerners, say it with me now, was Waffle House. And I ate my hash browns, my brother's hash browns, or no, my hash browns, my mother's hash browns, and half of my brother's hash browns, and 2 waffles and some sausage. So, basically, because they wouldn't let me eat because they thought I had appendicitis, even though I didn't have appendicitis. I had freaking ovarian cysts. Yeah. So, anyways, if you like this story, I have a bunch of, like, medical stories and stuff like that. Because I've been to a doctor a lot of times. If you did not, sorry, hate to hear that, but thanks for sticking to the end anyways. Yeah. Like and subscribe, I usually talk about warrior cats.